Hi YouTube and welcome to my channel. I am going to talk about narcissistic survival and going through a divorce from a narcissistic marriage. There is something that happens to almost all of us, and if you have never been to my channel before, I encourage you, I beg you, if you are dealing with narcissism, to get this book. It's Not You by Dr. Romney. She is a phenomenal speaker on this on YouTube. And this book has been so helpful for me. I got it actually from my son and my daughter-in-law for Mother's Day. And knowing that I needed to have some support, because that is like one of the things you really need when you're going through a narcissistic divorce, a divorce from a narcissist, is you really need a support system. So knowing that I had Dr. Romney, it was almost like literally having a friend, having a therapist, even though I had my own therapist that came to me from the Houston Area Women's Center. It was so great to watch her videos and read her book, and it felt like I was a part of her community as well, even though I had not actually joined the community officially. Just by watching the videos, it was such a help. But I want to talk a little bit today. I want to try to make it a shorter video, hopefully within 5 minutes. That is the goal from this point. Start the mark now at 5 minutes. And I want to just say that when you are going through a narcissistic divorce, it is different than any other divorce. This is my third divorce. So first I want to say one thing that Dr. Romney has taught, and also my therapist, and going to Houston Area Women's Center for victims of abuse, is that when you are dealing with narcissism and you have an empathetic spirit, you are going to be attracted to narcissistic personalities, or they'll be attracted to you also. But because we want to help and we want to fix and we want to make things right, we assume that we have this power. And I just want to tell you, you do not have the power to help or fix. And we think that it's love because we think, well, you know, this is a tough person. Like I always used to say, I'm attracted to guys, or I'm attracted to men who are like difficult. And I would say that like I'm proud of it. Like I'm proud that I could marry a guy who had like intense anger issues, who was a yeller or screamer. And after I realized that I didn't like to be yelled at and screamed at, and that was like my trigger and I needed to get away from it, that's when I started really realizing that I needed to get out of my marriages. But the first time I was like, okay, I'm not tolerating it. I'm out. Within, I think, 9 months, I was out. The second time, it took longer because I didn't want to be divorced the second time. But it became more violent, with pulling guns and making threats to my family. And I was just like, okay, after 2.5 years, I have to get out. This last marriage lasted, I am in my 25th year. I'm going 25 years now. I've been with this person since 1998, and it is 2004. I'm sorry, 2024. 2024. And it's amazing to me that I've been with someone for this long, been married almost 25 years, and I saw all of these red flags from, you know, I call them neon flags. There were so many. But what happens is, because we were in a marriage before, they will bring that up and say, oh, well, it's you, because the only thing that is the same in these marriages is you. Bringing me back to the point that I made with Dr. Romney. It's not you. Because that is something that I was told for 20 something years. I need to fix this because it's my problem. I mean, obviously, this is my third marriage. This is something wrong with me. So I just want to say once you have been in a relationship where someone is screaming and hollering at you, insulting you, like can't find any compliments about you, encouraging other people to insult you, like Dr. Rodney calls them flying monkeys. That's like the people who are in the Wizard of Oz who are like doing the work for the narcissist, so the narcissist doesn't look crazy. Those flying monkeys could be his attorney, it could be the court system, it could be mediators, it could be the children, which is really horrible to use your children in that way, but you've seen that. It could be his parents, his siblings, people who don't see what's happening behind closed doors. And they have no idea the amount of sexual abuse, financial abuse, abuse to your health, how it's affecting you. They don't see all of the, I call it background noise. That's what he thinks. It's just background noise, something that is in my head. And because I was the one on antidepressants, I was the one getting therapy. I was the one begging him to go to therapy with me to help me. It was like, you have the problem. You're the one who's crazy. And he decided he's going to get a doctorate in psychology, not because he wanted to work on our marriage, not because he thought that there was anything wrong with him, but because he wanted to be called a doctor. So he was a director of a major corporation. So basically, like, to be a director and make like $200,000 a year, and over 200,000 actually, and to try to become a therapist, you're not going to make that kind of money unless you're like maybe world-renowned. And actually, here's the thing about a therapist is someone who should actually care and have empathy. And if you don't have that, and you're not even having that in your marriage, that might be a clue that that's not the right. Like, if he was going to become a lawyer, like, I'd be like, okay, that was something he could probably do, because he was very good at manipulation. He looked the part. He knew a lot about the law and how to get around things. He loved to watch legal shows, law shows. And so I thought, lawyer, yeah, I could see that. But a psychologist, a doctorate in psychology, that's crazy to me, because he does not believe in psychology. He doesn't believe in empathy or therapy or anything like that. But anyway, my point is, and I'm going long now, but my point is going through the acceptance that you can leave. And like I said, it took me 25 years to finally do that. You have to get to a bottom point, to like okay, I'm not doing this anymore. I have got to get out. And for me, I always wanted to be a good mother. That was like my number one thing. I wanted to be a good mother. And I had health issues. And when I say health issues, I have lupus. I have a lot of health issues that go along with lupus. But there was no empathy from my children. And I started seeing that my children were following in his footsteps. And more importantly, they believed because daddy paid all the bills that mommy didn't have value. And I pretty much went along with that because I didn't want to argue. But when I got to the point where I realized I need to get out, it really was like hitting rock bottom. So when you get to that point where you hit rock bottom and you realize, okay, if I fall on my butt, there's only one way up. I got to pull myself up. I got to figure it out. And for someone like me who's had some falls in my life, this was probably the hardest decision for me to make, was to leave. But he put himself in a position where he was physical with me for the last time. I had enough. And the fact that my daughters were believing him, that was like, no, I can't take it anymore. So I left. And I will tell you more about my story, but I just wanted to say, if you're in a narcissistic relationship that lasts a long time, like I was in, and the marriage was filled with verbal abuse, financial abuse, sexual abuse, and of course, emotional abuse. It is abuse, and it's time to go when you don't have to hit that rock bottom, but sometimes it can take a long time. So hopefully, if you're listening to my story and you're in a situation where you're in those abusive, start making a plan. Start literally putting, I don't care if you're taking $10 a day, because maybe he's not giving you any money, like my husband wouldn't give me money. I should have taken the $10 a day instead of making dinner or trying to buy something for my daughters. I should have taken that $10 and put it in an account and saved and saved and saved. Didn't do that. We'll talk more about what happened with me later with my finances, but I suggest you do that. Put away some money, and you're going to need that money because you're going to have to pay a lot of money for attorneys. He's going to like literally try his hardest to tear you down with attorneys. So you need to have a really good attorney. And they said that to me before in the videos, but I did not listen. I thought, okay, I'll just hire an old friend. A lot of people who are your friends do not understand narcissistic abuse, and you need to have a specialist who understands that. So I will keep you posted on my next video. I actually have to go to the hospital again. I've been in and out of the hospital for the last 2 months, and I'm sure on short-term disability from work. So I'm not able to really do anything else except focus on trying to heal. But I do want to share this with you. So hopefully if I helped you at all, remember, make a plan. Even if it's a long-term situation, if you're in this relationship for a long term, you can always find a way to get out. But in the meantime, Dr. Romney's book, if you can get it on, or have someone buy it for you, like I had my son and my daughter-in-law buy it for me. Get the book, read the book, watch her videos. They help so much. And I hope that I helped a little bit with what I'm talking about with my divorce, but knowing that I was divorced, this is my third divorce, I don't know if I'll ever be able to trust someone again to marry them, but I just know that I literally don't want any more abuse in my life. And maybe marriage won't be for me, but if you are in your first marriage, second marriage, third marriage, fourth marriage, whatever marriage you're in, the abuse is like a cycle, and we get addicted to trying to help these difficult people, and we feel like if we can stay longer, then it's going to mean more, but it doesn't. It doesn't. I should have left the first time I saw that neon flag. So anyway, there's another video I did on neon flags, or the red flags they call, but I call them neon flags, about things that you should look out for. So my next video will be a little bit more in depth about my divorce. But in the meantime, God bless you. Please check out the videos with Dr. Romney. If I helped you at all, give me a thumbs up and share this video if I did help at all. And thank you for hearing my story.